Well, good morning and welcome to the Coach's Corner. Coach Moore, that was a game Friday night.
It was. It was certainly an interesting game, to say the least. It was a good football game, good high school game.
I noticed that with the Tigers getting behind twice during the game, that they were able to pull themselves back.
Yeah, I was proud of our resolve, proud of the way that we came back and fought. It was the first time since I've been here we've been behind in really anything that we've done. And for us to come back and to compete and make plays at the end, some incredible plays. I was really proud of that. Our mental toughness was really good because there was opportunity for a letdown. At certain points in the game, I felt the momentum. Lanier really had it. And did a good job. I told everybody and tried to tell them how good I thought Lanier was. And I really do. And now we made a lot of mistakes. And I think we had a chance to put the game away a couple of times. And we still had penalty issues that put us behind the chains again. And we didn't play as well defensively as we expected to. And then our kicking game, we didn't play as well as we hoped. There, we had a turnover and then a botched punt. So those things can't happen. But again, I think a lot of that had to do with Lanier. I mean, I think a lot of the issues that we had to do with a very athletic, extremely talented football team. And we're just happy to be 2-0 and to be 1-0 in the region.
When you come up to games like this and you're got people saying, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
This wasn't a cakewalk.
No, I mean, I think the past may have created that thought and the fact that they were 0-2, but the problem was that they played a 7A team, Lee, who is really good, who's 2-1, and then they played Park Crossing, who is 3-0. And I mean, they played a good football team. They played two teams that are bigger in size than them, and they're a good football team, and they're well coached. I mean, they didn't make old characteristic Lanier mistakes. Coach Harris is doing a really good job, and his staff's doing a good job. They played the game clean. They were just extremely talented and gave us a hard time with their athleticism. And it was a struggle. I mean, it really wasn't again, but it was a good high school football game, and I was proud of the way that we responded at the end of the ball game.
It was a pleasure to go back and watch the game on the replay. We saw the resolve the team had. I know that you were a little bit upset with what was happening. You get a different view from the sideline than we do up in the box. Officiating wise, I know there's always people going to say this, that, or the other. Do you think we're going to have any trouble with penalties this coming up?
I hope not. I mean, most of them are legit. I mean, not all of them, but most of them. I didn't have a huge issue with the officiating crew. Okay. We stayed behind the chains because some of it we committed, and and we just got to get it cleaned up, and we're fighting that. I mean, we're addressing it. None of this stuff is being let go. So we've got to be able to do that though, because I mean, especially at the end of the ball game, we're in second and like 24, and had to run the reverse to pick up the first down. But that we had to run almost a trick type play to make a first down because we were so behind the chains on our final drive. And the first play of the football game, we had a block in the back that was legit on a kickoff return that started us inside the 20, and when we would have been across the 30-yard line and in better field position. So those things had to be cleaned up. The field position battle, we lost Friday again because of some special teams miscues. But we've got to get better there because we won't have success this Friday if we don't do it.
When you look at the team and you look at whether it was offense or defense, was it pretty well balanced in both cases on penalties?
No, I mean, offensively we were the problem.
Okay.
That boils down to me and Coach Johnson, the coordinator. We've got to get those things cleaned up, and it's mostly my guys up front, the offensive line. Coach Williams and I are working on that, but we've got to get it cleaned up, or we'll continue to be behind the chains, and at some point we're not going to be able to overcome that. Again, for us to score 30 points against a good defense, being behind the chains as often as we were, that was if there is a positive out of that, we were able to recover in some situations, but we had to make some huge plays in the game and convert some fourth downs, and I had to gamble a little bit with some things to get us in those situations, and we just can't do that. We won't be able to beat a ranked 6A opponent Friday night if we do that.
When you look at this team and you think about where it's been now these last games, getting ready to head into a third game, do you think they're ready for this third game now, or going to be ready?
Well, I think our consistency has been better already this week. Last week was a disaster. I mean, from our consistency, the way that we worked, and that's on me. That's my job. My job is to make sure that we're here, that we're doing what we're supposed to. But we had outside things come in and distractions that we've got to be better at. We've got to be. You can't. Your level of consistency is how you're going to end up playing. I mean, the way that you practice, doesn't matter how you look at it, eventually it's going to either pay off or it's going to hurt you. And this week it really hurt us. So we've got to do a better job of being consistent, being here. Yesterday was really, really consistent. The way that we practiced was a lot better yesterday. Now, we broke the monotony of practice a little bit. We practiced in the morning, and we had a long practice, couple hours. We had so many things to correct, and then we had a lot of things to get ready for, obviously. But it was much better yesterday. I feel better. Honestly, I feel better on a Tuesday right now than I did Thursday of last week. And it just boils down to us coming out and working and fixing mistakes and again, just being, if this makes sense, mentally present. You know, sometimes I feel like as 16-year-olds, we got so many things working outside. You know, we got girlfriends and book bags, and we got a lot of stuff going on outside, family things that we don't have a great mindset when we go to practice. And our mindset yesterday was really good. Our kids understood how close we were to losing our first region game, and it's really nice to have a wake up call when you win. That it doesn't get better than that. I mean, we could be sitting here 1-1 right now and 0-1 in the region, which is what really matters. But for us to see that and our kids understand that wasn't you follow football and we didn't play to the standard we need to, that's been good, and I think we'll respond well, and I guarantee we'll play better Friday overall. I don't know about the outcome. I just know that we'll play better. It'll be cleaner, and we'll feel better going into the game that we've prepared and got ourselves ready to play.
Talking about that preparation, I know by now this is a Tuesday morning instead of our normal Monday morning session because of the holiday. I know that you've had time to review the film on the team coming up, and there's going to be a long trip. Yeah. I understand from Sarge that you're going to be leaving quite early. Yeah. And you've got quite a trip. How do you think that's going to affect the outcome of the game?
I don't know. I mean, I'm eager to see. I told the coaches Sunday when we came in and we worked a long time Sunday. We had a lot of things to get right, and then obviously a lot of prep work for this Friday. But and we had to look at ourselves real hard as a staff and figure out what we're doing and how we got to get better ourselves. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited that we're on the road. I know that might be crazy. A lot of people would rather play this team at home. I mean, it's tough to play in Alex City. I've had a lot of experience there, as do the coaches that were here. Most everybody on our staff right now has experienced playing them. But I'm excited to be on the road because, again, at some point in our season, we're going to have to go on the road and win a big game, and or at least play well in the game. And so I'm excited about that. We're trying to break up the trip. It's about a 2-hour trip, but we're going to stop halfway and eat and then go the next hour, so we're not constantly on a bus for 2 hours. And so we're trying to do that. And we're trying to get there early enough that we get that stiffness out of us, and that we're able to kind of walk the field and do some things like that. But yeah, we're using everything in all of our past to kind of put our thoughts together on when to leave and how to do that. But yeah, managing the trip is as important as anything, and so we're doing everything we can to be ready.
When you look at the fact that it is a long trip, some people have not been up there before. Want to kind of describe how the best way to go up to this game?
Well, I mean, what we're going to do is go through Opelika and go 280 up there is how we're going to do it. But the stadium, I don't know, people that haven't been there, the stadium is really nice. The field is really nice. The environment is really, really nice. They pack it out. The fan base is really good. And so I'm excited again about what we're going to face. As far as, again, an environment, can our quarterback, can our center hear our quarterback, all those kind of things will come into play that come into play on being on the road. So I'm excited about seeing the operation of the whole thing, how it all goes. But as far as the trip, it takes about 2 hours. The stadium is at a sports complex there. It's not at their school. But it's a really nice facility. It's big, and I really hope we travel well.
When you look at the stadium and it's a completely different environment than what some of these people in this team have seen. That this is a well-supported team. This is going to be a loud place to be because they're going to be supporting their team.
Right.
Do you have any indication of people that may be going up to watch this game from Eufaula?
Yeah. I mean, I know that all of our families will travel. I hope that that all the parents go. But yeah, we don't. I felt horrible for those kids at Lanier Friday night. They didn't have a great crowd, and I always feel bad for kids. Because they put in so much work, and we're talking a 2-hour trip. We're not talking a 10-hour trip here, to make on a Friday afternoon, to get our fans there. And we can't stress the importance of having support. And so that'll be really big for us. I really hope we travel well.
Of course, I support the fact that we're going to have it on TV and radio as far as audio goes. But there's just nothing makes up for these fans traveling to these games.
Right.
If they can do it, they need to do it. If they're truly Eufaula fans.
Yeah, again, we just need, it's just important to us. I don't know if fans always feel that, if they always feel like the kids appreciate them being there, but they really do. I mean, the kids, and when they're not there, it's very discouraging for them, and so hopefully it'll really be good and that the support will be there. I know the community's behind our kids and our program, and so hopefully we'll travel really well.
When you look at this team coming up Friday night, what do you think we should look for from them? Offensively and defensively.
Yeah, well, first, offensively for them, their quarterback, Tyree Gray, is a really good football player. He's been a player for them for the past 3 years. He kind of played a little bit as a sophomore and then was a really good player last year as a junior. And this year, he is what makes him go. I mean, he is lightning. I mean, he's really, really fast. He scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter of the Opelika Ben Russell game. And he is really, really impressive. And so, we can't let him get loose. We know that. Everybody knows that when they play Ben Russell. They need to contain number 8. And they've got a good running back. He's a good player, number 3. They've been able to kind of turn and deal it to him, and he's getting tough yards for them. And then they've got 2 receivers that are pretty athletic, and they do a good job of kind of rocking you to sleep and running the football. And next thing you know, they've hit one over the top of you. So we better be ready there. But yeah, obviously we got to stop the quarterback. We got to get up and stop the quarterback runs and those kind of things, and he'll do the zone reads and the power reads and all those kind of things, and really does a great job of making something out of nothing. Opelika in the film had him hemmed up a couple of times, and he was able to kind of bring it back across the grain and get into open field, and nobody's catching him. So he has done a tremendous job there, and Opelika again struggled early in the game with him, but then kind of settled in and got him hemmed up a little bit. But he's a good player. And then defensively, he's doing they're doing a really good job, like they always do. They're always really well coached, really disciplined. They are a good football team. They run to the ball. They play with tremendous effort. They're always really physical. They've been that way forever. At Opelika, we never had a tremendous amount of success against them offensively because they don't hurt themselves. You don't put them in bad situations. They line up and play football. They keep everything in front of them. And then they've got probably the best defensive lineman around, he'll be up there with the best that we played this year. Their nose guard, he's a 3-year starter, and he's a load, man. He's hard to deal with. So I had our lineman in here this morning at 7, and we met for an hour and just watched clip after clip of those guys and just trying to see, what can we do to contain this kid. And but again, it's not just him. They've got so many athletes at Ben Russell. And Coach Horn is, I really believe, one of the best coaches that I know, just because, again, they're disciplined and they don't beat themselves. And so defensively, that's what you got to be. You got to be where you're supposed to be. They tackle well. They're athletic enough to run to the football. And then, of course, having the big D lineman in there is a real challenge. But again, I'm excited about the way that we respond, because we didn't play well Friday night. Just plain and simple, we just didn't play very good. And then, again, how our week kind of goes, how it comes about, how consistent we are, and then seeing what we put out there Friday. There's no pressure for our kids. We're playing a bigger opponent on the road. We need to go up there. There aren't any moral victories either. Now, I don't want to just play well. I want to go and win. But ultimately, I want us to go up there and compete, play hard, play better, and just show some improvement. We'll see what happens.
When you look at this game, if we get up there and we have problems, it's going to be a long ride home.
I don't want us to be sloppy, obviously, and we're the biggest sloppy issue last week was our special teams. And that's me. I do a lot of that. I'm involved in every special team and pretty much kind of run it. And, of course, I have coaches that help. But I've got to get that cleaned up. That's my fault. The fact that we didn't have a very good snap and punt, we didn't get it off, that's an issue. And then the fact that we fumbled on a kick return when we were up 3 points, we needed that ball back at that moment. We didn't need to turn it back over with our defense tired in the Lanier game. So we've got to clean those up, because they're really good on special teams. Their kicker's going to kick it in the end zone every time and kick it out the back of the end zone. He's absolutely bombing it. So we'll have to match that. We'll have to play much better on our special teams, because, again, that could have cost us the football game Friday.
When you look at all of these different elements touching into this game coming up, it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a good game to watch.
I think it'll be a good high school football game. Yeah, I do. I think that the tradition of Ben Russell High School is really strong, just like Eufaula's. Mm-hmm. And anytime I've never been a part of any game with Benjamin Russell that was a blowout, ever. Since I've been coaching, and we've played them a bunch of times. Either way, I mean, they when I was at Opelika, they beat us one time there in Alex City. It was a huge win for them. It's always a defensive battle. Our defense and our coaches were on it Sunday now. I mean, they were really Saturday too, all day, pretty much watching film and trying to get things corrected, because we didn't feel like we played to the standard of a Eufaula defense Friday night. We just gave up too many first downs, and they stayed on the field too long. And so we've got to create some turnovers and try and get off the field some and create some punting opportunities and some return opportunities for us. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good high school football game. I mean, I'm telling you, it'll be a good high school football game. I feel like we'll play well, and I know they will.
When you look at going back to this past Friday night, we had our ups and we had our downs. But for this team, in the game that it had the problems in, like it did with this one, and it handled them, for them to come up with the Channel 9 play of the week,
yeah,
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, the thing was, at the end of the football game, we went 23 plays that we really dominated. So after they took the lead and made it 26-23, we got the ball back. We had a good return. Then we went 17 plays on offense and scored a 17-play drive that took over 6 minutes. Really encouraging. Had to convert a couple of fourth downs, and we did that. And then for us to punch it in from the 1 yard line, make the extra point to put us up by 4, kick off and contain them, and then go 4 and out on defense right there to finish. That speaks volumes, because, I don't know that when I got here in the spring that they would have responded that way. I didn't feel like they would have. I didn't feel like our mental toughness was good enough that we would have responded that way. And for us to win that game, again, I can't say it enough about Lanier. They're going to be a playoff team. They're going to make the playoffs in our region, and they're going to be tough on some people. Now that they're done playing the bigger opponents and got through us, then I think they're going to turn it on right here, and people are going to see that. That they have a good football team. And so for us to respond against a very talented team with a couple of SEC players on the team, they got some 10th graders that have already been offered SEC scholarships, and I've seen them in person, and I knew what they look like. I was really excited about how we finished.
It was really nice. It was a great game. I just want to keep emphasizing how important it is for the fans, if they can possibly go up Friday night, get in a caravan, do whatever you need to do. It's easy to find.
Yep.
The one thing about Alexander City is that they will, if you stop and ask for directions, they'll gladly tell
It's
you
a great
where that's
town.
at.
It really is.
The people have just been nice to us every time we've been up there. So we're going into an environment, it's a strong football environment, but they're ladies and gentlemen with it.
They are. They always have had class. I mean, because I know that because when we go to Alex City, the coaches always sat in the box as an assistant, and I'd walk up the middle of the bleachers there, and they were always really good. I mean, they really are. They're classy people. It's a high high character environment as far as their fans. They know what to do, and then the way that they run the whole thing, from the PA to the music to the paint on the field. I mean, all those things are class. Are really class acts. So it's going to be a fun game. Like I said, a lot of people have said, well, in the future, do you want to continue playing Benjamin Russell? Well, I mean, that it doesn't get much better than a class team to play out of region. Yes, they're a good football team, and it's tough to win. I mean, it's going to be a war Friday night, but they really do a great job. And Coach Horn is a really good football coach, and again, he has a classy program. That's really what you want to play. You don't want to go play a bunch of people that don't do it the right way and those kind of things. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun game.
When you get to the end of the season and you're facing playoffs, to know that you've been up there,
yes,
you've seen a class act,
right.
You've done your job against them. That gives that team a lot more confidence than having a lot of people they can beat rather than people that challenge them.
Yeah, I think so. I think you want at least one of these.
Yeah.
And we're going to get one. I mean,
You're gonna get one.
This will be as good as anybody would play this year.
But we've got a tradition with these people. This is not something that just started. This is something that's been going on for a while. And people get a big smile on their face when they talk about Benjamin Russell because they know it's going to be a good game.
Well, they were 5A for so long that Eufaula and Ben Russell had played and were in the same region and have competed for region championships. They've kind of outgrown us. Ben Russell's several hundred kids bigger than us now. But yeah, I mean, this is something I really enjoy, and again, I feel more comfortable this week as a coach just because I know more about what they're going to do. It's just better that way. You just feel, again, you don't know how the outcome's going to be, but at least you feel better about how you've prepared your kids. I did not feel that way last week, and again, that's my fault. And this week, I feel far better about it.
Well, that's good. Now, one of the things you talk about, the school is like 200 students or so bigger than us. But let's talk about the team.
Yeah.
Number of players on the team versus our number.
I think they're about 75 or so, and we're at 80, but they don't have any freshmen on the team. And so they're 10 through 12, so that makes a big difference because we've added a whole class to ours. So, there'll be 20 kids bigger, roughly 10 through 12. But, there'll be some players out of those 20, so... but again, I don't think it's going to be one of those deals. I don't think it's a, who's bigger type issue. I just think it's about who plays better Friday night.
And one of the things in growing a program, you've got these 9th graders in there.
Yeah.
When they hit seniors, you got a stronger team.
Yeah, they're getting reps every day. It was something that's unique to Eufaula that we never were able to do at Opelika because we had so many 10 through 12. That we had a separate night grade team. Well, that's great. It really is. It's good to have a separate night grade team, but our ninth graders are being coached by our varsity coaches every day. And so I really believe that you're right, Ron. I mean, I think it's going to pay off, and I think we're going to see that after 4 years that they're going to be further along, even than the kids at Opelika were in our scheme because they got an extra year of it. And so that's encouraging. And, yeah, there are some good players. Our ninth grade class is really good. Last Monday, they went and beat Northview. We took a group down to Northview and won 26-13 against their freshman team. So, yeah, I mean, it's an exciting future. The outlook is bright.
It really is. And when you look at the steps you're taking, even with Pee-wees, you're getting involved in helping that program. By at least attending, watching those players.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me when I used to cover Pee Wee football, how many names over the years work their way up.
That's right.
All the way to here.
Well, and it's our job to keep them in our system. We've got them in Eufaula. We need to keep them in Eufaula for one. And, we build those relationships with guys like Jimmy Ingram that runs the Pee Wee Association here, who, by the way, does an incredible job. It's top notch. So I was thoroughly impressed by what I saw Saturday because that was my first Pee Wee experience. Not this past, but the one before. I got to see it here with their jamboree. But yeah, and now I know some of the kids. I know, hey, this is number 11 on the B team, and those kind. I know those kids now, and so building those relationships it will go a long way.
And a lot of the nicknames that these kids pick up over the years, they started with them in Pee Wee.
Yeah, that's right.
And that amazed me. Because you would hear those. And,
right.
And it's always with pride when you've watched somebody in Pee Wee come all the way up to the high school level.
Right.
And we've got a lot of things going on here. We've got a great stadium. We've had an improvement in the press box.
We did.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr.
And Eddie Tyler.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was big.
It really was. And in case people don't realize it or haven't been listening, it's air conditioned now.
It's a big deal.
And heated.
Yes, and heated.
And heated. Yes. They emphasized to me that it would have heat in there as well. And it was an excellent facility.
Yes.
To actually do the game.
To build on that, we got our indoor. They're already breaking ground and cutting trees down and getting ready. They're testing all the lines and trying. So that's really encouraging. And if people haven't looked, we have a Eufaula Tigers football Facebook page, and so everything's going up on that. It's new. Everything's going up. We post 2 or 3 things a day on that. And so the people are really looking into that, but yeah, it's keeping. We're taking pictures of them cutting down trees, and because it's just an exciting time.
When they post those things, we get them on our Facebook, and we've been putting them forward to the people that we've got.
Right.
And we would encourage people to support the Tigers.
Sure.
Go to their page.
Right.
Yeah, it's great if you could watch it on ours. I don't mind that. But we try to get them all.
Right, and they're linked together so we can see both and use both as a resource.
That's right. And this is what is really neat about this program. Right now, we're showing organization. We're showing that we're trying to get not only players enthused about the program, but students, the community.
Sure.
It just amazes me. I got really tickled. I was out to the side of the building here a while ago waiting for you, and when I did, there were the people were up there doing the work and everything else, and there was a big War Eagle discussion going on.
Football's everywhere right now.
It really is, and we've got 2 major Tiger teams in this area.
Yes,
we've got Auburn, and then we've got here.
Right.
And people get enthused about this. They can actually begin to get a little violent as you get out of line.
Yes, they're hardcore fans, to say the least.
But I know that this is a great program. I know that this is going to be a fantastic game Friday night. If people can in any way go, we're going to encourage them to take a 2-hour road trip.
That's right.
And go see a fantastic football game with a big tradition behind it between these 2 teams.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. So with that, we're going to wrap it up here for the coaches show, and we're going to say, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.